Irvington, New Jersey, 07111. Well, how do I put this?
You've got to learn how to rap or play basketball or something, nigga. You're trapped. You are trapped.
Oh, once upon a time up in Jersey, yo. Haha, I damn near had the record. Yo, I knocked on her door. Who is it? This folk doc here to pay a little visit to ya.
Hey gang, welcome to Jay Explains. I'm your host, Jay, the official elected official. And in the last episode of Unbound, I vowed to take a trip to the INIC, Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation. And before you ask, yeah, I did inquire if the acronym was purposefully close to HNIC. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. The Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation was established in 1989, with the primary goal being, and yes, I am reading from the pamphlet, to provide resources which enable individuals and families to become self-sufficient. In shorter terms, this corporation serves as the town's social service agency. Now, before we go any further, I need to say that the staff and the director, Ms. Simpkins, are incredible people that truly care about the unfortunate circumstances many Irvingtonians find themselves in and do their best to accommodate and find some path to resolution for everyone who enters those doors. They have my utmost respect and adoration. But the corporation itself has been around for 30 years, and yes, during Mayor Voss's very short tenure, strides have been made. Yet, you can't begin to think the 2019 version of Irvington is anywhere close to improved from the 1989 model when it comes to our biggest peeve, the quality of life. This tiny lot of land has been locked in a vicious cycle for 3 decades. One of the things that I love about doing this reporter/organizer/activist thing is that it affords me so many opportunities to learn and apply the new information to the old information to paint a more vivid picture, providing clarity for how this municipality as well as urban communities across the country have found themselves in such dire straits. And to say the least, Mrs. Simpkins took a brother to school. Urban America's poverty isn't accidental. This is far from an Irvington exclusive issue, and if you check almost any video on this channel, I do my best to reaffirm that fact. Recognizing that such communities and environments have been purposefully cultivated to internalize any of my criticism is folly, because it isn't personal. I have the same empathy for my countrymen and neighbors that one feels seeing a mouse in a maze. They didn't make the maze, and if they lived in such a contraption since birth, then all they know is that maze life, son! So, as a fellow mouse, I'm all for anyone making maze life work for them. But the Irvington maze, along with mazes across the country, have been sabotaged with moving walls and trapdoors. Let's break it down. The state of New Jersey operates on an inclining poverty scale that goes from 100 to 300, with 100 being bad and 300 being the worst. Irvington comes in at 250. No surprise, 10th poorest municipality in the state. But here's where the catch-22 comes in. The higher a municipality ranks, the more money programs such as the INIC are given to operate. Do you see the dilemma? But it gets even better. Every time a new government program is created to help the residents of urban America, a new arm of bureaucracy is created. So, as an example, take Trump's $100 billion urban revitalization initiative. The bulk of that money would go towards overhead, buildings, and employees to disperse the funding. So by the time that money trickles down from Washington, what's left is, and this is Mrs. Simpkins' estimations, $500,000 out of $100 billion. The financial incentive to retain a certain level of degradation, coupled with the lack of economic mobility, then add a dash of terrible drug policy, and sprinkle in so much cultural poison that you're likely to get sensory overload, thanks churches, hip-hop, and black stuff, urban America never stood a chance. And as long as there is money to be made from the deterioration and poverty, many of our hometowns never will. Despite the monumentous efforts of those that work and volunteer for all of the organizations, such as the Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation. These are some really amazing people with gigantic hearts who I would recommend any resident to in their time of need. Yet, the state has maneuvered the municipality into a position to guarantee the overabundancy of necessity, instead of ensuring the inhabitants of these areas had access to the type of work and opportunities that would ensure some type of lifeline for the families organically. There we go. Factories, plants, and warehouses were closed and replaced with bureaucracy and per-hour slave wages. My favorite thing in the world is hearing someone who worked 3 jobs back when Pepsi was a nickel to pretend as if $12 an hour at job A and $13 an hour at job B equals $25 an hour. No! Money and time don't work that way. There are only 24 hours in a day, and this country settled on the 8-hour workday a very long time ago. Because you need the rest of that time to make sure your kids don't become delinquents, statistically increasing the chances of them finding themselves living in 23% poverty. See? See what I did there? I'm so good at wrapping it all back around to the poverty and lack of economic mobility for what has metastasized into a cancerous lump that has been attached to the heart of urban America. Well, I've run my yap long enough. I want to introduce you to Miss Deborah Simpkins. She is the organization's executive director, aka the HLIC. See what I did there? Didn't just wrap it around to the first paragraph, but also accounted for biological sex. Remember, kids, gender is evil. Thank you so much for putting up with me. Please, all the internet stuff. Like, sub, share, speak. Until the next video, love. And Mrs. Simpkins, take it away.
Nothing we can do to do immediately, but there's a steady progression that we have in mind. Like we had this side over here like a park-like setting, and of course looters and illegal dumpers was dumping in that, and so we have plans, and we're working with DPW to have some type of fencing that wouldn't be so easy for them to get over, and so that we can have the kids to have a place to play. We're also on Jefferson. We're also going to be doing some housing, and then we'll have a main building where people can come in and eat. We have a building on Grove Street, 589 Grove Street, where we're going to be providing services at. We also have the portable behind Berkeley Terrace School. We're going to be having some rap sessions with single mothers, single fathers, grandparents, kinship programs to help motivate and give family members the resources to deal with those difficult situations. So when you talk about neighborhood improvement, you first have to pursue making the individuals whole in the community so that they can go back and be sustainable, or formulate a block association, cleanup association. Newark used to have a logo, Love Newark, Keep It Clean. And first of all, you got to change the mindset of the people, because it's going to take one mind at a time for one step at a time to take place. But right now we're dealing with a conglomerate of people that just feels like it's just going to be this way and this is the way it is. If you see a whole bunch of litter, you're not going to pick up one piece of litter. So it takes a plan and a complete initiative. And what we do, and I see we're not dropping the ball. We're going to keep working every day. We're letting them know. We feed them every day. 1 o'clock, you come in here and have a home cooked meal in a home-like setting with a TV. You come in here and watch the news. You may not have cable at home, but you can come in here and you can see what's going on in the world. If you don't have a computer, we can help you do a resume. We can show you. We have templates and we print it out for you. We have job listing postings, job fair postings, and we have all those resources for people. And we encourage them that, you can, every day is a brand new day, that you can start over, and it doesn't matter how deep you fell in the past. You can start over today. If you're living, you have another opportunity to make good on it. And you have to be the change that you want to see in your community. Okay? Because we go around here and we clean up and we get with DPW and we get garbage removed and we call housing and we get houses that are unkempt. Nobody mowed the lawn and the grass is overgrown and all types of stuff is in there and all types of garbage is in the back, and we get those clean. But guess what? A week later it's back to the same old thing, because people from Maplewood and Hillside and East Orange, they feel like they can come here and they dump. If you spent time here at INIC, it's people that just fell on hard times. They have great aptitudes, okay? They're very intellectual, very knowledgeable, very skillful, very motivated, but just have no opportunity.
Yeah.
And no opportunity.
Yes.
We go from situations where people don't have their ID. They don't have the means to get their ID, and if we get them there, they can't pay for the ID. And so you have something that can cost $30 that can stunt them for 30 months.
Yeah.
30 months they can't get over that hump. They have just enough to pay their bills. One thing I can say about the people that work here: Donna Darby, Josie Monell, Denise Bell, Vasco Tavares, EK, Josie, let my husband know I'm in it. Loretta Bratton. Mm-hmm. These people here will go in their pockets. Yeah. So when I say that someone didn't have $30, they call me and they say, Miss Simpkins, we all put $5 together and we gave that person that $30. Am I right, Josie? How many times do y'all give people money? Come over here in front of the camera, Josie and Donna, come over here in front of the camera. These people, these young ladies really, really care, okay? And I keep telling them, stop giving your money to people because they don't make enough money to do that, but they care enough, okay? They care enough to say that I really can't afford this, but I haven't really clocked in unless I've helped somebody.
No,
you know, that's how they feel here.
Being blessings, I love it.
So we can't save the world, but what we try to do every day is save one family or one individual or one single mother who needs some help at a time. So we're always on the phone. These young ladies, because I may be the executive director, but these are the people that are putting their. That's right. Yeah. They're putting their foot to the pavement every day. They're figuring out things. Miss Simpkins, could we do this? Miss Simpkins, they spend my money on these people all the time. Am I right about it? Yes, because I don't want them to spend their money, so I'll reimburse them because they listen to them. Mm-hmm. They talk to them. They become counselors. They become spiritual advisors. They become what else could I say?
Sometimes parents.
Social workers.
Definitely social workers. You know, they become, they put out fires for people. You know, let me figure out a way to get you some food. Let me figure out a way to get you some diapers. Let me figure out a way to get you some female needs. We go above and beyond. You cannot work for INIC if you do not care. So she goes and do home visits and everything for a HOTWA program, which is housing opportunity for people with AIDS. Oh. So we actually pay their rent.
Okay.
Every month. It's based on their income guidelines. So, but most of them, we pay most of their rent, right? Mm-hmm. I think almost all their rent. That's very nice. Few people have to contribute. And then we also have our SSH program and SSH TANF. So that's emergency relocation, back rent, PSENG, and sheltering at home and hotel and motel.
Mm-hmm. And we do a warming station.
And we do a warming station. Well, if I sat here and told you all of the programs Donna Darby,
we'll be here for a day.
We would be here for a day. What it means is that agencies that are funded through the American Recovery Act, they have a poverty level that goes from 100% to 300%. Okay. It's not 20. It's not based on 100%. It's based on a 3% percentile. Okay. So that's because there's lower class, middle class, and upper class. Yeah. So that's why they do it on 100% of each.
So basically, but the higher up you get, the more you have of higher class, and the lower up you get,
the higher your percentage is, the more poverty you are.
Okay.
Because of course 10% of Irvington may be middle class or or upper class, but they do it over the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So Irvington is 250% of the poverty level.
Okay. We're 10th poorest in the state.
Right.
Like
the number 5 or number 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what it means.
So that 200. So basically, we're middling in the middle of poverty. That's fun. So
no, we're considered a poverty-stricken township.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's why. That's why I'm here, because I really want to figure this out and help get that turned around. And that's why I consider the manufacturing and bringing a low bar of entry work into the township, so the people of the township can have access to the economic mobility they would need to move up into the working and middle class. That's kind of like where I feel like we're missing, because we take care of our seniors, we take care of our children, but we don't take care of anybody in between. That's a joke, but to an extent, that's not our concern.
That's what we do here.
Those are the folks that we need to actually be in the workforce and generating tax money and everything else like that, and buying homes and building families and raising families and stuff like that.
And putting those homes back on the tax roll for the township.
You see what I'm saying?
So when I say that there's an income eligibility verification form, on the back of that, it tells you how you fit into the 100%, 200%, or 300% poverty level.
And we are creeping towards 300.
We're creeping towards 300.
And that's, I think we're all against that. We all want to stop that.
Have you ever seen the back of a school lunch program application where it says you reduce free or paid, and if you make this much,
I don't have children.
You don't have children. So that's how it's rated amongst the state.
Yeah.
Across the state. And when I say that, that means that we qualify. It's bad in the sense, like you said, we're creeping towards that 300% poverty level, but it's good in the sense that it allows us, because we fit in that bracket, we can bring in government-funded programs to prevent that.
But here's the deal: haven't the government-funded programs been aiming to prevent this for the longest time? Like when I was a kid, they were like, "Oh yeah, DARE program, we're gonna snuff out drugs, huh?" Every time we let the government in, things get worse.
Irvington's focus is on opioid drugs. That's what we're trying to prevent. Because if you try to
prescriptions,
if you try to do too many drugs at one time, you're not going to have a level of concentration that you're going to even be effective at. Because we don't have millions of dollars funded to take on this plight. So we focused on opioid drugs, and we're making great strides with that.
Yeah.